Hello and welcome to, this is a list nobody wants to top. The 15 dirtiest countries in the world right now. From pollution levels to waste management issues, these countries face serious environmental hurdles. Air you can barely breathe, water you'd hesitate to touch. It's rough out there, so grab your hazmat suits and let's dive in. Welcome to our countdown of the 15 dirtiest countries in the world for 2024. Kicking off our list at a dismal number 15 is country name. Their major issue? Describe primary pollution source, for example, unregulated industrial emissions, reliance on coal power. Think of it like this: trying to take a deep breath in country name is like sucking on the exhaust pipe of a very old, very sad bus. We're talking specific health impacts, respiratory illnesses, increased cancer risk, etc. Their waste management system? Let's just say the term system is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Picture this. Vivid description of waste problem, overflowing landfills, trash-strewn streets, etc. But hey, at least they're not. Well, let's move on to number 14. Coming in at a not-so-prestigious number 14 is country name. Now, you might be thinking, country name? I thought they were known for something seemingly positive they're known for example, beautiful beaches, delicious food, etc. But unfortunately, those positive things are being severely overshadowed by their environmental woes. We're talking about specific challenges, for example, severe water pollution due to agricultural runoff, deforestation leading to habitat loss. This directly impacts the health of country name's citizens. And the worst part, much of this could be prevented with stricter environmental regulations. Sliding into the unlucky number 13 spot is country name. Their air quality, let's just say it's not winning any awards. Unless the award is for most likely to make your eyes water and not in a good way. We're talking air pollution levels that are higher than a giraffe's blood pressure after climbing Mount Everest. And the culprit? Primary source, for example, unchecked vehicle emissions, outdated industrial practices, etc. But wait, there's more. As if the air wasn't bad enough, their water sources are struggling too. Describe water pollution issue. For example, rivers thick with industrial discharge, groundwater contaminated by... you don't even want to know. Number 12, country name. Where the trash never stops. We're talking about a level of waste mismanagement that would make a landfill blush. Picture this: mountains of plastic bottles reaching for the heavens, rivers choked with discarded electronics, a stray flip-flop blowing in the wind like a tumbleweed of despair. Now some might say, hey, at least they're optimistic, always looking up at their ever-growing trash piles. And while I applaud the effort to find a silver lining, the reality is, this isn't just an eyesore, it's a health hazard. We're talking contaminated water supplies, increased risk of diseases, a thriving rat population that's starting to eye up real estate. Number 5, India, a nation struggling with open defecation. While India has made strides, open defecation remains a critical concern. Over 600 million people lack basic sanitation facilities. This is a public health crisis. Diseases like cholera and diarrhea spread, affecting vulnerable communities. Government initiatives are underway, but the problem is daunting. Number 11, country name. A symphony of pollution. We're talking about a country that's managed to achieve a kind of unholy trinity of pollution, air, water, and noise. The air is thick with smog, particulate matter, the lingering scent of regret. The water? Let's just say you'd be hard-pressed to find a fish willing to take up residence in their rivers, unless that fish was particularly fond of heavy metals and existential dread. And the noise? Well, imagine a symphony orchestra composed entirely of jackhammers, construction equipment, and that one neighbor who practices the tuba at 3 a.m. It's not exactly music to your ears or your lungs or your general well-being. At number 10, we have country name, grappling with unchecked industrial growth. Imagine a landscape scarred by factories spewing noxious fumes, rivers thick with chemical waste. That's the reality in country name. The industrial sector drives growth, but at a heavy price, the environment and people's health. Industrial waste is often dumped into rivers or left in poorly managed landfills. This poisons water sources and contaminates farmland, turning ecosystems into desolate wastelands. Coming in at number 9 is country name, where pollution runs deep. Air pollution so thick you could cut it with a knife. Water pollution that would make a sewage treatment plant manager cringe. deforestation, illegal dumping, and environmental neglect. The result? A country where breathing and drinking water are risky. At number 8 we have country name, a country where the air quality is about as appealing as a lung full of exhaust fumes. We're not talking about a little bit of smog on a bad day, folks. We're talking about air so thick with pollutants that you could practically chew on it. The primary culprits? Well, it's a greatest hits compilation of environmental offenders, vehicle emissions, industrial pollution, coal-fired power plants. They've got it all. And the consequences? Let's just say that respiratory illness is about as common in country name as a politician breaking a promise. The reality is the air quality in country name is no laughing matter. Coming in at number 7 is country name, a country that's unfortunately become synonymous with water pollution. We're talking about rivers so polluted that they could double as chemical waste disposal sites. Imagine, if you will, a glass of water. Now, imagine that instead of refreshing H2O, it's filled with industrial runoff, agricultural chemicals, and the tears of disappointed environmentalists. The sources of this pollution are as varied as they are numerous untreated sewage, industrial discharge, agricultural runoff. It's a veritable buffet of environmental horrors. The consequences? Well, let's just say that drinking the water in country name is not an activity for the faint of heart or stomach. At number 6 we have country name, a country facing a truly monumental trash problem. We're not talking about a few stray plastic bags blowing in the wind here, folks. We're talking about a full-blown waste management crisis. Imagine, if you will, mountains of garbage. No bigger than that, keep going, a little bigger, there you go. Coming in at number 4 is country name, a country where the pollution problem is about as subtle as a brick to the face. We're talking about a toxic cocktail of air, water, and land pollution that would make even the most hardened environmental activist weep. The air is thick with smog, the rivers run black with industrial waste, and the land is scarred with the remnants of unchecked mining and deforestation. The health consequences for the population are dire, with respiratory illnesses, cancers, and birth defects on the rise. It's a stark reminder that environmental degradation isn't just an abstract concept. It has real, tangible consequences for real people. Sliding into the top 3 at number 3 we have country name, a country where simply drawing a breath feels like a contact sport. Forget about yoga retreats and meditation apps. In country name, the air itself is enough to induce a state of perpetual stress. We're talking about air pollution levels that would make a coal-powered factory blush. The main culprits? A combination of rapid industrialization, lax environmental regulations, and a healthy dose of good old-fashioned car exhaust. The result? A country where face masks are more common than smiles, where respiratory illnesses are practically a rite of passage, and where the air itself seems to crackle with particulate matter. Coming in at a depressing number 2 is country name, a stark reminder that environmental neglect can have devastating consequences. This isn't a case of a few too many plastic bags blowing in the wind. This is a full-blown ecological crisis. Imagine, if you will, a landscape choked by smog so thick you can barely see the sun. Rivers and lakes turned into toxic sludge by industrial waste. Forests decimated by illegal logging. The human cost of this environmental devastation is immeasurable. And so we arrive at the dubious honor of the number 1 spot, the dirtiest country in the world for 2024. And the winner is country name. This isn't about shaming or blaming, it's about shining a light on a critical issue that demands global attention. Country name has earned its spot on this list, not through malice, but through a perfect storm of factors: rapid industrialization, lax environmental regulations, poverty, and a lack of political will to address the problem. The result? A country where pollution has permeated every aspect of life, from the air they breathe to the water they drink to the food they eat. Well, there you have it, the 15 dirtiest countries in the world for 2024. It's not exactly a list to be proud of, is it? But remember, this isn't about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's about acknowledging the problem, understanding its complexities, and, most importantly, working towards a solution. Because the reality is this isn't just their problem, it's all of our problems. We live in an interconnected world, and environmental degradation in one corner of the globe has ripple effects that are felt everywhere. Thank you for watching our countdown of the 15 dirtiest countries in the world for 2024. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more informative content.